All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the world of Danielle Steel, one of the biggest authors on the planet for a reason, and her latest novel, For Richer, for Poorer. We're not just going to talk about the plot, we're going to get into why her stories connect with millions. So, let's jump right in. So, picture this. What happens when a whole fashion empire just collapses? That's the question right at the heart of this book. It's about losing everything you've ever worked for and having to figure out who you really are when all the glitz and glamour is stripped away. It's a massive crisis, and it's what kicks this whole story off.
Okay, so before we can really get the impact of the fall, you've got to understand just how high she climbed. Let's meet our main character, Eugenia Ward, who is an absolute force in the world of high fashion.
I mean, Eugenia is the real deal. She was trained by the one and only Oscar de la Renta. Then she went on to build her entire couture business from scratch. Oh, and on top of that, she's a mom to 5 kids and was once married to an Italian prince. So yeah, she is the very definition of success, elegance, and being in control. But you know how it is. Behind that perfect glossy exterior, things are starting to crack. So let's take a look at how her seemingly perfect world starts to crumble. And the cause of the crisis is something pretty modern and relatable, actually. The economic chaos after the pandemic has completely wiped out her business. We're talking total financial ruin. The world she's so carefully built is about to implode, and she is keeping it a secret from everyone. And this is where all the tension comes from, right? This double life she's forced to lead. To the world, she's this celebrated designer, the head of this big, fabulous family. But in reality, her business is tanking, she's about to lose everything, and she's carrying this huge secret all by herself. And if her empire collapsing wasn't stressful enough, her family life is a total pressure cooker. Her kids have absolutely no clue what's going on. One daughter, Gloria, is busy planning this insanely expensive wedding to a guy who just seems off. Meanwhile, her other daughter, Daphne, is about to have twins, like right in the middle of Fashion Week. The timing is just awful. But, just when everything feels completely hopeless, something new enters the picture. And this is where the story really starts to shift, from just a crisis towards the chance for a comeback.
Eugenia meets a guy named Patrick Hughes. He's this charismatic real estate developer who's kind of dealing with his own stuff too. And their connection, it's more than just a little romance. It feels like a potential lifeline, a real shot at a second chance, both in business and in her personal life.
And this is just classic Danielle Steel, the way she builds the drama. It's like a perfect storm brewing. First, you've got the personal storm of the wedding drama getting worse. Then, you've got the professional storm of her business on the verge of collapse. And then, get this, a literal hurricane starts barreling towards their family beach house, forcing everything to come to a head all at once. So, we've got the glamour, we've got a hero you can root for, we've got all this high-stakes drama, but what is it about this formula that is just so incredibly popular? Let's zoom out for a second and really try to decode the Danielle Steel appeal. The secret really is in the mix. It's like this perfectly crafted emotional cocktail. You get all the fun escapism of high fashion and glamour, but it's always paired with these real, grounded, emotional struggles. The glamour lets you dream, but the problems feel human, which makes the characters feel real. It makes that final triumph and the romance feel so much more earned.
Now, you've probably heard a term for this kind of storytelling. Some people, like this one Reddit user, call it junk food reading. Easy entertainment for when you just want to shut your brain off.
But here's the question I want to pose. Is that really a criticism? Or, when you think about it, is it actually a compliment? Is it just recognizing what these books do so well? Because ultimately, that reliability is the appeal. It is captivating escapism. You pick up one of her books, and you know exactly what you're getting. A comforting, familiar story that's a genuine break from everyday stress. In a world that's so unpredictable, that promise of a satisfying story is incredibly powerful. So in that sense, it's not a bug, it's the main feature.
So, as we start to wrap this up, let's put it all together. What does this book really promise you, the reader?
For Richer, for Poorer really offers you a heartfelt journey about survival and reinventing yourself. You get a main character who's both commanding and incredibly vulnerable. You get a story about finding hope when things look absolutely impossible. And, of course, you get that perfect Danielle Steel balance of deep emotion with crazy plot twists, like a hurricane, that keep you flipping the pages. And that kind of brings us to our final thought. Whether your thing is high fashion, epic fantasy, or some gritty crime thriller, We all have our own idea of the perfect escape. This explainer broke down one very successful formula for it, but it leaves us with a bigger question. What are the ingredients that make a story the perfect escape for you?